Welcome to Cassie's Little Library, where we read and dream together. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Let's jump in. Ruth's Faithful Journey, a Bible story, written and illustrated by Cassie Young. Long ago, in the town of Bethlehem, there lived a woman named Naomi and her husband Elimelech. A terrible famine came, and the field grew empty. With heavy hearts they packed their things and traveled to a far land of Moab, with their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Moab was different from Bethlehem, new faces, new customs, and new gods, but Naomi's family made a home there. Her son grew up and married 2 kind women. Mahlon married Ruth, Chilion married Orpah. Naomi loved them as her own daughters. For a time there was joy. The family shared meals, celebrated weddings, and built a new life. But then came heartbreak. First, Naomi's husband, Elimelech, died. Then both Mahlon and Chilion died too. Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah were left alone. Their home felt quiet, and their hearts felt empty. One day, Naomi heard good news. Back in Bethlehem, the famine was over. The Lord has blessed his people with food again. Naomi decided, I must go home. Ruth and Orpah walked with Naomi to the road that would lead back to Bethlehem. Naomi stopped and said, My daughters, stay in Moab. You are still young. You can marry again, and your family will take care of you. But both Orpah and Ruth shook their heads. We will go with you, they said. We will stay by your side. They walked a little further. Naomi spoke again. My daughters, you must return to your homes. I have no more sons for you to marry. I do not want you to give up your chance for happiness. Tears filled all their eyes. This time Orpah hugged Naomi tightly, kissed her goodbye, and returned home. But Ruth stayed. Ruth held Naomi's hands and said, Don't ask me again to leave you, because I won't. Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. So the 2 women journeyed on together, step by step, mile by mile, through the hills and dusty paths, until Bethlehem came into view. When they arrived, the women of Bethlehem whispered, Is that Naomi? We remember her. But Naomi said, Don't call me Naomi, which means pleasant. Call me Mara, which means bitter. For the Lord has allowed great sadness in my life. I left here full, but I returned empty. It was the beginning of the barley harvest, Ruth said. I will go to the fields and gather leftover grain for us to eat. In those days, it was dangerous for women to work alone, but Ruth trusted God's protection and set out to provide for Naomi. The field Ruth worked in belonged to a man named Boaz. When Boaz saw her, he asked, Who is that young woman? The workers replied, That is Ruth, the Moabite, who came back with Naomi. She has worked hard all day. Boaz walked over to Ruth and smiled kindly. Stay in my fields, he told her. No one will harm you. I have ordered my men to protect you, and when you are thirsty, drink from the water jars. Ruth bowed low and asked, Why are you so kind to me? I am not even from your people. Boaz answered, I have heard all about your kindness, how you left your home to care for Naomi. In our time, such loyalty is unheard of. May the Lord reward you. At mealtime, Boaz invited Ruth to sit with his workers. He offered her bread and roasted grain, and Ruth ate until she was full. She listened carefully to every word Naomi had taught her and followed her mother-in-law's advice in all things. When Ruth returned home with a basket heavy with grain, Naomi's eyes lit up. Where did you gather today? She asked. The man who owns the field is named Boaz, Ruth said. Naomi's face softened. Boaz is part of our family. This is God's kindness to us. In the days that followed, Ruth continued to work in Boaz's field, always careful, always respectful, and always providing for Naomi. Everyone in Bethlehem began to notice her. They respected her for her obedience, her hard work, and her faithfulness to Naomi and to God. One evening, Naomi told Ruth her plan. Boaz is a good and honorable man, she said. Do as I tell you, and the Lord will guide the rest. Ruth obeyed exactly. She went humbly to Boaz, and he promised to do what was right. The very next day, Boaz met with the town elders and made sure Ruth could become his wife. Soon Boaz and Ruth were married, and God blessed their home with joy and with a baby boy named Obed. Naomi held baby Obed in her arms. Her tears of sadness turned to tears of joy. Her heart was full again. Ruth's obedience, respect, and faithfulness to God changed her life forever. And Obed grew up to be the grandfather of King David, the family line that would one day lead to Jesus, the Savior of the world. Obedience, respect, and faithfulness to God can change everything. When we choose to love and care for others, God's blessings often go beyond what we can imagine. Thank you for reading with me today at Cassie's Little Library. If you like that story, you can purchase it on Amazon with the link in the description. See you next time.